Hi, honeys. It is Tuesday and day one of the vlog, the reading vlog. I'm in my bedroom, sitting on my bed. That's the wall tapestry behind me. I'm sitting funny because, as you see over there, my lamp is on. We have these new lamps. Here's what they look like. If you look over here, when they're not lit up, they're these beautiful lantern lamps. They kind of, to me, they feel like if I look at artwork of London when it's foggy. That's kind of what they look like. Like I really love them. They're kind of industrial, but they've got the glass that is frosted. But when they're on, they're super bright looking on this camera. So I was trying to think of, well, I guess I can move you over here. There we go. Okay, there. That way I don't have to sit quite so awkwardly. So I've got Martin here next to me on the bed. He wants to take a nap. So he does not want to read, but I wanted to talk to you about the book that I'm reading before I take my nap with him because he's a big napper and so am I. It's like our bonding thing. So I'm reading The Four Winds. I'm on page, let's see, where am I now? I didn't get a whole lot of reading done yesterday. That's okay, I'll make up for it today, but I'm on page 200. So I have 248 pages to go. So I'm almost halfway through the book. Not quite, but almost. Since we last talked about The Four Winds, I have been on quite the roller coaster ride with this book. I have been, well, about 50 pages ago, I think it was. Was it 50 pages ago? I just don't want to lie to you guys. Yeah, 50 pages ago. I was so frustrated. Around page 148, I wrote it down. I got so mad. It was like, and I don't want to say why, because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody that hasn't read it yet. But it was just one of those moments where, do you ever kind of feel like with your friends, it's like, or maybe a kid, don't do that. If you do that, this'll happen. That was how I was feeling. And around page 148, what I felt was going to happen happened. So then it was like, I told you that would happen. Why didn't you listen to me? And of course, she doesn't know what I'm thinking, but it's just that was what was going through my head. So I saw it coming. The main character, Elsa, did not apparently, or hadn't really thought things through the way I feel that I would have. And it kind of got me thinking about what we've been going through this last year. This is the year, or has been the year, especially now that 2020 is over and we're in 2021. Now it's time to really reflect. Okay, what's important? What's not? Where do we want to be? What kind of life do we want to live? And let's get rid of everything that does not suit us anymore. I mean, I think that's why so many people are organizing and getting rid of things and moving and doing all these things, is just, we don't want this excess baggage. We don't want to live somewhere that doesn't feel like home. We don't want to work somewhere that causes undue or unneeded stress, or we don't want to be in a relationship that weighs us down, or that kind of thing. So I think we're all thinking so much about what life we want. And I kind of feel like Elsa in the book is going through that, thinking about what she does and doesn't want, and trying to figure out what the best thing for her and her children is. And it's just really, really good at this point. So it's heating up, and then, but I kind of feel like, now, if you are a child of the 80s or earlier, you'll understand what I'm saying here. I was born in the late 70s, so my whole childhood was the 80s. Did you ever play tetherball or dodgeball at school? To me, right now, watching Elsa or reading about Elsa is kind of like watching someone play dodgeball or tetherball who's not paying attention to the game. What happens in both of those games if you don't pay attention to the ball? You get smacked right across the face by a big, heavy ball. What's going to happen? You're going to have a black eye, a fat lip, a bloody nose. You're going to get hurt. You have to pay attention. You have to keep your eyes open, keep your instincts alive, right? And I feel like she's standing there playing tetherball, especially with someone who is out to get her, and she's just holding her hands in front of her, just letting the ball slap her on the face, you know? That's how I feel. If you grew up in the 80s or before, you know exactly what I'm talking about because we all played with tether balls and we all played dodgeball. Um, if you grew up after that, maybe you'll know. But if you're a lot younger than I am, if you're one of them young folk, you might want to look it up and find out what I mean by that. It's one of those, what happened was, it's so funny the differences of the different generations and how I was watching this video earlier and somebody was talking about how if you weren't an 80s kid or before that, your childhood would look to a teenager or somebody in their 20s now, your childhood would look like a sci-fi movie or like some kind of like a creepy world. Like it's just so totally different. It would almost um I don't know. So it's just kind of funny thinking of that. It's like or like a thrill ride or a carnival ride or a ghost town. It'd be just something totally different you step into. It's weird how much the world has changed in my lifetime. And anybody who's older than me, but people who are a lot younger probably don't remember having a computer room in their house or having people listen in on your phone calls or having to leave messages on answering machines and having to listen to messages on answering machines on a tape. And I mean, there's just so much that's changed just in my lifetime alone. I mean, if you told me when I was 10 years old that one day I'd be walking around with a computer all the time in my pocket, which is what a phone is, that I'd be making videos and posting them for the whole world to see, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought it was cool though, because when I was a child, I always liked being on stage. So here I am. Hi. Anyway, and then one other thing I wanted to tell you now that I've got 50 pages further into the book, you guys, I cried. I haven't cried in a book in, gosh, I think the last book I cried during was The Vanishing by Brit Hume. Brit Bennett. Brit Hume. Whoa, that's like a newscaster, isn't it? Brit Bennett. That book that she wrote, I cried in that one. But it was not long after that I went on those antidepressants. And the antidepressants made me feel numb and I could not have any emotions. Like I didn't get really happy and I didn't cry anymore. And I didn't like that feeling. And so it felt really good to just cry in a book. Finally, again, it's like, I'm back. I'm back. I'm here. I'm really, really here. I'm feeling every moment that I'm here now. And it's wonderful. I love actually feeling again, feeling happy, sad, um, crying, laughing, all of it. It just feels really good. So, all right, I'm going to go take my nap and I guess I'll finish my coffee after I wake up. But I will let you know later on tonight how much further I've got and what I've been thinking. And we'll go from there. Oh, I also wanted to tell you that show Behind Her Eyes. Brad and I ended up really liking it. The end of it was like, oh, it was really good. It's just a 6-part series, but we both really loved it. I love books or movies or books that have to do with dreams. Like one of my favorite movies is The Cell, and this one is probably going to be one of my favorite series now because I love how it really goes into dreams. What we can do and then what we can't. What does it all mean? Pretty fascinating. Well, good afternoon. Sorry you're swaying around so much. I'm waiting for my new tripod to arrive to where I can just set you up without having to hold you. So I just wanted to give you some updates on the book. I've got Zelda down here with me. She's taking a nap. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to wake you up, little girl. Since I last talked to you, I have read from page 200 to 332. And there's been, gosh, okay, there was a Christmas scene that really kind of got to me. Just as far as what the meaning of Christmas is and, do the presents really matter and that kind of stuff. And how commercial it's become now. And then there's a friendship that I really like. The main character, Elsa, ends up becoming friends with a lady named Jean. And I really like their friendship. This book's got me really thinking about, I don't know, it's just sad how rich people treat poor people and how that hasn't really changed, has it, between then and now? How there's so little sympathy for what other people might be going through. Like I saw it today, there was this homeless guy and he was trying to cross the street and he dropped something and he was trying to pick it up and people were honking and flipping him off and it was like, what you, like I don't know, I don't understand anymore what's going on, but apparently it's always been like that, reading how people were treated back then too. I mean, my gosh, here you are in a depression where everybody's lost everything and people still, the people that are fine, had it in their hearts to treat people badly, make fun of people and not accept them, and just awful. Everybody wants to see you because you're so pretty. And it's also got me thinking about how good we have it right now. I mean, with as bad as it's been, with this whole lockdown situation and the pandemic and everything, it's still not like that. It's not like the Great Depression. I mean, we're still doing so much better. Or at least I am. I don't know. There might be people way worse off than me, but I'm saying I'm so I just feel very lucky. It's also got me thinking about um I don't know, just homeless people and immigrants and like when people move somewhere new and the people there don't want them there. I think the truth is if you've lived somewhere a while and people that aren't from there start moving to the area and changing it, the people that have lived there don't like that. And the people that are moving there feel like they don't have a choice but to move there. Like they're trying to pursue their dreams and their happiness. Or in a situation like the Great Depression, they're trying to survive. But the book just has me having all kinds of thoughts. All kinds of thoughts. What is in your fur? I don't want to keep waking you up, but there's something on your chin. What is that? Come here. I know how you would just be so upset. Oh, what is that on your chin? Or not your chin, but your face. You'd be horrified to have yourself not looking perfect. If you saw the mirror, you'd be so upset that I have you on camera right now. Isn't she cute though? Look at her little face. And purring like crazy. It's now Sunday afternoon. This is one of those Sundays that I love. When I first went outside this morning, it was 41 degrees outside. And it was windy, so it felt really cold. But the sun's out. And it's just, there's like this crisp freshness in the air. And now, I think the last time I checked, it's 55 degrees out, but it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I've been reading my book today. Let's just sit upside down. Been reading. Doing laundry, doing dishes, that kind of thing. And I just wanted to talk to you about the book. I don't really know what I think of it yet. It bounces all over the place a lot. Between the current time, the recent past, and the past past. So it's kind of hard to keep track, but I almost feel like the author did it on purpose. Like she was trying to, in actual life, the way that we think, in the now, we think. You gonna say hi? Hi. we You make it so hard to talk. When we think, we kind of do that, right? We think about now. We think about the future. We think about recent past stuff. Oh, good, I paid that bill on Sunday. We think about things that maybe happened a couple years ago. And then sometimes maybe a song will come on, you think of your childhood or whatever. And of course, with her mother recently passing away, she's obviously thinking about her childhood and spending time with her siblings. So it's going into the sibling relationships, but it's not really going anywhere yet. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I think of the book yet. I don't have enough information to give you an opinion on that. But I definitely... Hi, baby. But I definitely am intrigued. I'm interested. I want to know what's going to happen. Hi. So, we'll see what happens. Now, this is supposed to be a suspenseful book, and I'm not feeling the suspense yet, so I'm not sure what they mean by that. Do you have an opinion? Like, I'm not feeling any suspense, and I don't know if it's just me, or if it just hasn't, the suspense just hasn't started yet. I'm 100 pages in, and the book was 342 pages long, so I'm almost a third of the way through. I'm thinking that the book, they're just kind of warming me up so that the suspense can start. But it's still interesting. I mean, even if it doesn't get suspenseful, it's still interesting. Do you see what I deal with every day of my life, all day long? This is what I deal with. This little toddler that's just constantly in everything. But you're my friend, huh? Yeah. Can you hear him purring? Oh, he loves looking at himself on the camera. Is that a good-looking cat over there? Is that you? Do you know that's you? I mean, you see me, so maybe you do. I remember when he was a kitten, he'd look at the mirror and he'd be like, and then he'd turn around and he'd look at me and it's like, wait, you're back there and you're up here. That must be me. Like, he seems smarter than other cats. I'm not saying cats are stupid or anything, but he just seems like genius level cat. He's figured out how to open doors. He likes to read with me. It's probably all the reading he does. We joke around that when we're not home, he goes on the computer in my office. He goes on the computer and he probably has like his own social media and his girlfriends and his friends and all that stuff. He's typing away with his little paws. Because he does type too. I've actually had a couple times now where I'll be at work. I try to not do instant messaging at work because when I do, he'll start typing with his paws and he'll sit down and it hits enter. And so people get these weird messages that are like, a bunch of letters and numbers just jumbled together and he sits down and it hits enter. You're so funny. You know I'm talking about you? When I was a little girl, I used to tell We had a cat named Rambo. I used to tell him, I know you can speak. It's okay. I won't tell anyone, but I need you to talk to me. And he wouldn't talk to me. So then I told our dog, we had a dog named Blaze. I used to tell him the same thing. Talk to me. I won't tell a soul. I know you can talk. It'll be our little secret. He never talked either. And I've tried that with Marty and Zelda, but they don't talk either. Like, they'll meow and it sounds like they're saying things, but like, I know he can actually talk the way I do. Like, he probably makes phone calls when I'm gone too. Like, he probably like prank calls people and stuff. Do you do that? Do you get on my little landline work phone and prank call people when I'm gone? Well, anyway, that got kind of weird, but it was kind of fun. Well, good morning. It's Monday now, and I've been reading Girl A. Let's see where I am this morning. I'm on page 138. What to say about Girl A? I feel like I'm still being introduced to the story. I feel like I don't really know what's going on yet. When I picked this book as my book of the month, I had read that it was a suspense novel. I'm not seeing the suspense part yet, but it might just be an introduction still. I'm only I'm a third of the way through the book. It's like 41 pages? No, 341 pages. So I'm just over a third of the way through. It bounces around a lot. If you're put off by that, this is not the book for you. It's hard to keep track of, but it's more realistic to how we think. So I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. If that makes sense. I think it's really good, though. Like I said, I'm not seeing the suspense part. They really haven't built up to what the actual abuse was that she went through. Because I wanted to let you guys know if there's a trigger warning. But so far, I'm not really seeing what it might be yet. And that's really all I have to say about the book so far. I was going to try to get all the way through it by this morning because I would love to wrap up my weekly reading vlogs with the end of the book, and then next week I'll be reading this book or so on and so forth. But unfortunately, that's just not quite how reading works for me. I try to plan how much I'll read or try to guess how much I'll read per day. What I try to do when I'm figuring out my schedule is I'll say 80 pages a day when I'm doing this schedule. However, there's some days where I read 20 pages. There's some days where I read 160 pages. I never really know what I'm actually going to read. And I think that's good. I don't want to get too regimented to where I'm reading a certain amount every day. It just seems so boring, kind of. But so if you want to hear what I ended up thinking of Girl A, you're going to have to tune in next week. And I'm sorry, I'm hoping next week's vlog, which will start later today for me, but I'm hoping next week's vlog will end with the book that I'm currently reading having been finished. But I guess we'll find out. Oh, I'm still trying to map out what books I'm reading in March. On Sunday, I will have a March TBR video where I tell you guys what video or what books I'll be reading in March. I just feel like that gives you a much better idea of what you're going to be seeing in my March review video. So I just feel like it kind of, I love when I watch other booktubers. Well, I'm not really a booktuber, but when I watch other videos about books on YouTube, I like it when people tell me what they're going to read and then they give me a review a couple weeks later. It just helps build the suspense for me. So I want to do that with you guys as well. I'm going to go eat my cereal and drink my coffee. And this is my mug today, by the way, in case you're curious. I love these. What do they call these? These kinds of mugs where it's like glazed or something. The glaze on them I really like. But I got this in Arizona when my mom and I were driving across the country together on my move out to Vegas. So it's a nice little memory. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.